Hello, friends and viewer. Tonight, I'm going to tell you about the one of the one of the novel which won a Pulitzer Prize. The name of the same is The Good Earth, written by Pearl S.Buck. And Pearl S.Buck received this novel has received a Pulitzer Prize in 1938. Pearl Buck was an American writer. She born on 26 June of 1892, West Virginia, USA, and died in the 6th of March 1973. The name of this novel is Pearl Buck, The Good Earth, written by Pearl Buck. This is the story of a Chinese society. Wang Lung, a protagonist or the hero of this novel, is a young farmer in rural turn of century China. During the time in which the novel takes place, Chinese society is showing a sign of modernization while remaining deeply connected to the ancient traditions and customs. When Wang Lung reaches a marriageable age, his father approaches a powerful local Wang's family to ask if they have a spare slave who could marry his son. The Huangs agree to sell Wang's a 20-year-old slave named Ulan, who becomes his wife. Ulan, a Wang Lung, and Wang Lung are pleased with each other. Although they exchange few words, and although Wang is initially disappointed that Ulan does not have a bound feet. Ladies and gentlemen, the tradition of bound feet was a Chinese tradition in pre-revolutionary period. I will tell you about bound feet later on. Together, Wang and Lung and Ulan cultivated a bountiful and profitable harvest from their land. Ulan becomes pregnant, and Wang Lung is overjoyed when Ulan's first child is a son. Meanwhile, the powerful Ulan family lives decadently. The husband is obsessed with women, and wife is an opium addict. Because of their costly habit, the Huangs fall on hard times, and Wang Lung is able to purchase a piece of their fertile rice land. He enjoys another profitable harvest, and Ulan gives birth to another son. Wang Lung's new wealth catches the attention of his greedy, lazy uncle. Custom dictates that Wang Lung must show the utmost respect to members of the older generation, especially relatives. So he is forced to loan his uncle money, despite knowing that the money will be wasted on drinking and gambling. The Huang family finances continue to falter, and the Huangs sell another tract of land to Wang Lung. After Ulan gives birth to a daughter, a terrible famine settles on the land. In the midst of this crisis, Ulan gives birth to another daughter. She strangles the second girl because there is not enough food to feed the baby and the rest of the family. Wang Lung is forced to take his family to a southern city of winter. There, Ulan and children beg while Wang Lung earns money by transporting people in a rented rickshaw. They earn just enough money to eat. Wang Lung begins to despair of making enough money to return to his land. He and Ulan briefly consider selling their surviving daughter as slave. Eventually, a group of poor and desperate people ransack a rich man's home, and Wang Lung and Ulan join them in this ransacked and looting. Wang Lung steals a pile of gold coins. With his new wealth, he moves the family back home and purchases a new ox and some seeds. Ulan had stolen some jewels during the looting. Wang Lung allows her to keep two small pearls, but he takes the rest and hurries to buy 300 acres of old master Huang's land. Ulan gave birth to a twin shortly thereafter. The couple realizes that their oldest daughter has severe intellectual disability, but Wang Lung loves the child dearly. Wang Lung hires laborers to plant and harvest his land. He enjoys several years of profitable harvest and becomes a rich man. When a flood forces him to be idle, he begins to feel restless and bored. He finds faults with Ulan's appearances and cruelly criticizes her for having big feet. He became obsessed with Lotus, a beautiful, delicate prostitute with bound feet. Eventually, he purchases Lotus to be his concubine. When Ulan became terminally ill, Wang Lung regrets his cruel words and comes to appreciate everything his wife has done for him. Meanwhile, to lessen the demands of his uncle and his uncle's wife, who have moved their family into his house and continued to exploit his wealth, he tricks them into becoming opium addicts. Eventually, Wang Lung rents the Huang's house and moves into with his family, leaving his own house to his uncle's family. After Ulan's death, Wang Lung's son began to rebel against his plan for their family, for their life. They do not want to work as a farmer, and they do not have his devotion to the land. Furthermore, his first and second sons often argue over money, and their wife develop an intense animosity toward one another. In his old age, Wang Lung takes a slave, Pear Blossom, as a concubine. She promised to care for his disabled daughter after his death. In time, Wang Lung surrounded by grandchildren, but he is also surrounded by petty family disagreements. By the end of the novel, despite Wang's passionate dissent, his son planned to sell the family land and divide the money among themselves, signaling their final break with the land they made them wealthy. So, ladies and gentlemen, the characters involved in this novel is a very interesting character. As I told you, the protagonist of this novel is Wang Lung, the hero, the farmer. So the theme of this novel is man's relation to earth, wealth as a destroyer of the traditional values, and the provision of woman in Chinese culture, the oppression of women, motive, birth, death, and cycle of nature, religion. So, character involved in this novel, The Good Earth, Wang Lung, the protagonist of The Good Earth, Ulan, a woman sold to the wealthy Wang's family as a slave when she was 10 years old. She is a strong, hard-working, resourceful woman and a devoted wife. Wang Lung's first son, extravagant, arrogant, and obsessed with appearances. Wang Lung's father, a traditional and morally severe man. Wang Lung's uncle, a cunning scoundrel and thief. The wife of Wang Lung's uncle, a village gossip like her. The Wang Lung's wife's uncle, she's lazy and manipulative. Lotus, a beautiful, delicate prostitute with bound feet. Lotus became Wang Lung's concubine. She is a terrible temper. Wang Lung's second and first son, third son, Wang Lung's first and second daughter, Cuckoo, Pearl Blossom, Live Old Master, and Old Mistress. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the characters involved in this novel, The Good Earth. So, let me tell you about this character, what this novel stands for. First, we encounter Wang Lung until our final view of him. His main concern is the good earth and the sustenance that it gives. When we first meet him, preparing for his wedding day, he takes his bath water and returns to the good earth. We also discover that his house and goods are both made from the good earth. He is presented as a simple peasant farmer who is so frightened in front of ancient mistress of the house of Wang that he cannot speak. Even in the field, he is a very silent person, and we seldom got to know little of what he is thinking inwardly. Thus, our knowledge of him comes from the author's journalist style, S.Buck, the author of this book. In the early parts of the book, Wang Lung is quiet. He is content to eat no more than garlic wrapped around some unleavened bread. But by the end of the book, when he has established his family as one of the great families, he prefers more dainty foods and is able to choose among his food. Throughout the novel, Wang Lung is never able to escape the fact or belief that all good things come from the good earth and that all things are ultimately returned to it. Whenever he has a piece of silver, he knows that silver can be stolen from him, but if he is able to invest the silver into a good land, then no one can steal the land from him. He is illustrated when he goes to south during a period of great famine. When he returns, his land is still there, even though all other things, even the hinges on his door are stolen. As soon he discovers that Ulan has the costly jewel, he wants immediately to invest them in a good land. So another the dutiful, the faithful wife of the Wang Lung is Ulan, is a basic. On her wedding day, when she humbly follows Wang Lung home, she is seen as a model. In same way as a perfect Chinese woman, she is a humble subservient. In fact, she is so quiet that Wang Lung never knows what she is thinking. However, she is so resourceful that Wang Lung is constantly surprised at her ability to adopt all new situations. For example, she knows how to make a shanty out of mats, and when the big mansion is raided, she knows where the rich lords might keep their jewels. Part of her strength and resourcefulness is seen when she delivers her own children. At the birth of the first child, she works in the field with Wang Lung until it is time for the birth. She asks only for a sharp reed in order to curse child's life. Immediately after that, she returns to fields to help with the harvest. To understand the contrast between the humility of Ulan in the first part of the novel and the stoic ability of Ulan at the end of now, we have to re-evaluate the situation. The pride we see in Ulan in other chapter of novel can be traced to having brought up a slave abused in a great house, raising to become Wang Lung's wife with sons of her own. This is important to her than physical. So the custom of Chinese custom of foot binding was very old. Those women were considered beautiful whose feet were binded with the clothes, and and those women are not considered beautiful whose feet are big and was not bound. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you will read this book, The Good Earth by S.Buck, and it is a very wonderful piece of literature about the Chinese culture and Chinese tradition. Thank you.